California starts out 2024 with a whole new welfare program for illegal immigrants at taxpayers' expense. We're giving them free health insurance. Coming up, I'll tell you how much it's going to cost and how we're leading the fight to stop it. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and there's no doubt about it. California politicians are open border zealots. They do not respect the border. They do not want to have any border security. They've rolled out a red carpet for illegal immigrants to flow into this state. Some might argue that there's a sinister agenda here on a number of fronts. In fact, not just argue. We know that there's a sinister agenda at foot here. But I think one of the things that California politicians are trying to do is they're trying to repopulate. I mean, come on, we've been talking about mass exodus from California for the past several years because of California politicians' crazy far left policies, high taxes, criminal coddling, filth on the streets with homelessness, failing schools, corruption, infringement on personal freedoms. All of these are reasons why citizens, Americans, have fled the beautiful state of California, the once great state of California. And so they're leaving to other states. California politicians are looking around saying, oh, we need more population to replace citizens. So, let's just bring in the illegal immigrants. And of course, we know that Democrats want illegal immigrants to come into this country because they know that eventually voters wake up and realize that they're frauds and that their policies hurt them. So Democrats need to repopulate their voting base as well. So again, I think that there's a lot more here going on. But let me start out by saying we are a nation of immigrants. This is not about race or religion or orientation or skin color or anything, ethnicity. We take in 1 million legal immigrants every year. Americans are generous. Americans are welcoming. We simply want to vet people coming in. We want a process. We want rules and regulations. We can't take in more than we can comfortably absorb. So it's legitimate to have a secure border. It's important to have a secure border, particularly in a world of national security threats. The reason why I think we always have to start with that acknowledgement that we embrace immigration is that Democrats falsely claim that anyone who's for border security is somehow a racist, homophobe, bigot. That's not true at all. It's disrespectful of the generosity of the American people in welcoming immigrants each and every year. 1 million immigrants, more than the entirety of all the other countries combined. So let me get to the policy I want to talk about today, which is just so offensive. It's costly, but it's offensive on so many levels. And that is California politicians are now giving free taxpayer-funded health insurance to illegal immigrants in the state of California. And it's costing billions of dollars. This is part of a whole laundry list, a suite of very generous welfare benefits and other protections that California liberal politicians have given illegal immigrants. That's why California is basically the destination state, if you will, for illegal immigration. And the human traffickers, the cartels, advertise the benefits that California politicians are giving out, doling out, as a way to induce illegal immigrants to make the journey. So this is almost like a marketing and PR benefit that California politicians give to human traffickers. And of course, the media doesn't want to cover it because the media is liberal and they want to embrace illegal immigration. They're always trying to protect Democrat politicians. But the sad, sick, and evil truth is that illegal immigration is human trafficking. It is predatory. It hurts these people. It's not only bad for the American people and taxpayers, but it hurts the very people who are being trafficked across the border. And California Democrats don't care about human rights and what happens to people when they're taken advantage of by the cartels, tens of thousands of dollars for these people to have to pay up front or at least commit to in order for the cartel to take them across the border. And it's very dangerous. Young girls and boys get recruited into sex trafficking and drug trafficking. As people die, we hear people, baking in the back of a semi truck or a trunk of a car in the middle of the desert, dying during the journey. And so Democrats are part of this by giving these benefits, by also using rhetoric that says, oh, yeah, come on in, we're going to take care of you. So the first thing that we give in terms of benefits in California is it's a sanctuary state. What California Democrats have done is said, if you break any laws, we're not going to help the federal government deport you. The California Democrats would rather release a criminal onto the streets to continue to commit crimes who's illegal than to hand that person over to ICE and have them deported so they can't commit crimes in the United States. California Democrats choose to release criminals into communities so they can commit crimes again and again and again. Again, not covered in the liberal media, but the mountain of cases of repeat offenders who are illegal immigrants continues to pile up. California says we're not going to cooperate at all with ICE on any sort of deportation. Then California politicians give hundreds of millions of dollars in legal defense funds to illegal immigrants every single year to fight deportation. No other state does that, okay? And by the way, you as a taxpayer, as a citizen, you don't get free legal representation when the IRS audits you and says, oh, you owe taxes, or when the state of California comes in and says, oh, we're with OSHA and you've committed workplace violations, we're going to fine you. Anytime government comes and says that you've done something wrong as a citizen, you've got to get your own attorney at your own expense, and it drags on, and it's, it wears you down. But for illegal immigrants, Gavin Newsom and California Democrats pick up the tab. Again, a slap in the face, but it's another message that they're sending to illegal immigrants. Come to California. Come on in. Now let's talk about the welfare benefits. Free education, free housing, of course, a lot of food stamp and other welfare benefits, but more importantly, this latest bill to give free health insurance. Here's the headline. Gavin Newsom gives a new handout to illegal immigrants and taxpayers could be on the hook. Well, taxpayers are on the hook. It's not could be. Taxpayers are on the hook because Gavin Newsom is enrolling the illegal immigrants into Medi-Cal. And Medi-Cal is already billions of dollars in arrears. It's very costly in California. Can't even take care of our existing citizens who need health insurance and health coverage. So we're expanding the pool, the burden, at a time when we can ill afford it. The state of California has a $68 billion deficit. Chuck DeVore here says that Biden actions could mean an additional $11 billion in taxpayer funds in California. Medi-Cal. So what they did in 2015 is they said, the Democrats did, well, we're not going to cover all illegal immigrants. We're going to just take care of ones that are vulnerable, people who are young and people who are old. So they're covering in 2015. Starting in 2015, they said, let's take care of senior citizens. You know how they define senior citizen? 50 years or older. Again, these people are liars, cheats, and thieves. We knew where this was headed in 2015 when they first started giving taxpayer-funded free healthcare out to illegal immigrants. They are liars. They said, we're just covering seniors. You're thinking of like some decrepit, 90-year-old person needing health insurance. No, 50 years and older. That's a massive group of people. They also have taken care of the illegal immigrant children. And then, of course, they started covering people in their 20s. Now they're covering the middle age, which means everyone gets covered. Every illegal immigrant gets covered. It adds another 764,000 illegal immigrants in California into Medi-Cal. And we're talking billions and billions of dollars of healthcare expense. The idea of it being about $4,058 a year per illegal immigrant, that's a little low. Again, this is from the Legislative Analyst Office in the state of California. These figures here, I don't trust them. Health coverage in California is tens of thousands of dollars, not $4,058. So we've got massive burdens that this is going to put on the backs of citizens in California, taxpayers in California, and we have a $68 billion state budget deficit this year. They're going to be raising taxes, by the way. There are a number of tax increase proposals already on the November ballot because Gavin Newsom and California Democrats say that they're broke, they don't have money. Well, They're giving out freebies to illegal immigrants to incentivize and induce them to come into the country illegally with free healthcare. Now, in the San Diego Union Tribune, a liberal rag, they wanted to cover this from the standpoint of, well, how will healthcare providers, medical providers, be affected by the state's newly launched coverage of undocumented immigrants? Notice how they phrase everything here. Newly launched coverage. How about we just say, how will the medical system be impacted by giving free taxpayer-funded healthcare to illegal immigrants? That is the proper headline. But they have to be politically correct. And they call this a story about, can we, cover them? It's actually quite sinister. The story is quite sinister because what they're basically saying is, oh, no, we're already paying for the illegal immigrants. And there's partly an element of truth there. They go on to say that the healthcare providers already provide free health insurance. Free health care, sorry, not insurance, health care. And this is quite true because we are, again, generous people. We are not brutes. When someone's ill, our system in America is that we never turn anyone away who needs care. That's another reason why we need to secure the border so they're not here in the first place. Chris Van Gorder, chief executive of Scripps Health, which is the main healthcare system, one of the main healthcare systems in San Diego County, said that hospitals and doctors have never had the option of sitting on the sidelines when it comes to those without immigration papers and care. Quote, we already are treating undocumented migrants. Again, look at the politically correct buzzwords. Illegal immigrants, not undocumented migrants. They are here illegally. They are not properly authorized to be in the country. Anyway, quote, any expansion of Medi-Cal eligibility that provides payment for patients we are already caring for is a good thing. Of course, he's going to say that because obviously he has a moral obligation to care for people, not turn them away who need health service. But he wants the money. And this is why Republicans actually are voting for this crap. Oh, yeah. California Republican politicians are winking and nodding and not fighting this. In fact, County Supervisor Joel Anderson continually introduces new bills to give millions and millions of dollars to illegal immigrants in San Diego County, where Scripps is located. He's a Republican. He's not really a Republican. He's a fraud. He's a swamp creature that somehow continues to pretend to be a Republican. And of course, a lot of the state legislators on the Republican side don't want to touch this because they don't want to rock the boat, because the powerful lobbyists from the medical industry are going to come and say, we need the money, honey. Just secure the damn border, okay? And what's interesting about the healthcare costs is that when an illegal immigrant shows up, you and I pay higher prices for our health services. So if they go to the emergency room, they obviously don't have health insurance. They use our health services. The medical system works in a way where they basically charge whoever they can charge in order to recoup their prices. And of course, hopefully you have a profit margin. So what's been happening is you and I are actually paying for illegal immigrant healthcare. So that's the truth. So there's an element of truth in this UT article that, oh, well, we're already paying for it. Now Medi-Cal gets to pay for it. And then we get to go to the federal government and get reimbursed. That's the scam. It's like, oh, well, if Medi-Cal is paying for it, then we can see if we can get money from the federal government. In fact, the federal government, though, there are issues about eligibility there. So I wouldn't hold my breath in assuming that the feds are going to come in, particularly with a Republican Congress. But who knows? Again, Republicans are not trustworthy on the border. They're kind of in on the scam. If it has to do with money for big business, sadly, most Republicans are willing to go along to get along on that issue, even if it means providing funding for illegal immigrant services. American Hospital Association says that they receive 88 cents on every dollar spent for caring for patients in 2020. And so that's part of the whole cost reimburse, system that they're trying to create here. They're basically arguing that the illegal immigrants being given Medi-Cal then allows them to pick up some of those costs, and that in theory wouldn't be passed on to you in the form of a higher copay or a higher total bill. But again, I get back to the point. If you offer this free health insurance and the word gets out, more are going to come. And it is absolutely insane and outrageous and inappropriate to expect you and I to pay higher taxes or higher healthcare costs to give free health services to illegal immigrants who are not supposed to be here in the first place. Again, we can't care for everyone in the world. It is not our burden. It's not our obligation. It's not even possible. But Democrats want to force us to do this. And I think this is a reckless policy, and we need to push back. So our approach at Reform California is twofold. We believe that we have to stop the politics that we've seen in California, the far left politics, by flipping target seats and making it a consequence. When Gavin Newsom and California Democrats give away the store, give away a bunch of benefits to illegal immigrants at our taxpayer expense. In California, you don't have to get a majority to send the message. So we're making this illegal immigrant slush fund, the giveaways, and a call for us to basically eliminate this whole suite of benefits at taxpayer expense. We're making that issue a key priority, a theme in target seats for state legislature in 2024. We're going to need your help, though. So go to the website, reformcalifornia.org, and chip in a contribution. Click under the flip target seats button over here. It'll take you to that campaign, and it helps us allocate funding for our voter guides, candidate support and recruitment, a variety of volunteer deployments in these target seats. So please go to that website, reformcalifornia.org. Also, like and subscribe to this video. We need to break through the censorship of the liberal media so people really know how much this is going to cost and why it's inappropriate. And that's important. So like and subscribe to this video, share it on your feed. And then finally, the federal government. California is inducing illegal immigrants to come by giving away these generous benefits at taxpayers' expense. But even if they were giving away these benefits, if we could secure the border with a good federal government role, we wouldn't have as much illegal immigration. And so we've got to kick Joe Biden out of the office that he's in. We've got to elect President Trump. We've got to make sure that we add real fighters on the Republican side in Congress, flip the U.S. Senate. The border is the most important national security threat that we face, bar none. And Democrats are so interested and concerned about Ukraine's borders, but they're not doing anything about our borders. And so at Reform California, we also are playing a role in those congressional races throughout the state. Remember, California was the deciding margin in the congressional majority in 2022. 7 toss-up seats that we won as Republicans in California. Had you not had those 7 seats, Nancy Pelosi would still be speaker. And so we are important. We are still relevant, even though we're a blue state. We need your help at reformcalifornia.org in the fight. Can't stay on the sidelines. If you're angry about these free healthcare benefits for illegal immigrants, join the fight. Help us push back. reformcalifornia.org. Till next time, Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification button so you can stay up to date on all the developments in California news and politics. Also, please visit the website, reformcalifornia.org, for ongoing news coverage and to join one of our campaigns in the fight to take back our state. If you can, please sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution. This episode of Reform California with Carl DeMaio, paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly 2024.